If you had said to me at the beginning of last season at Media Day, hell, even the beginning of this season at Media Day, that Coby White would be a top candidate for the Most Improved Player of the Year award and the Bulls' brightest success story of the season, I would have said you were nuts. Because just 2 seasons ago, Coby White was having one of his worst seasons, struggling to shoot the ball consistently, poor decision making on the court with a high turnover rate, and one of the worst on-off court ratings on the team. Even Dosunmu, the Bulls' second-round pick rookie at the time, was outplaying Coby and was getting more run in the rotation than he was on certain nights. To think that in just 2 seasons, Coby White would completely turn his game around, becoming one of the most consistent outside shooters in the NBA, improving nearly every facet of his game, from his ball handling, court vision, IQ, defensive effort and awareness, and above all, his maturity in showing up as a leader for this team, which they so desperately needed. I won't lie, 2 years ago, there was no doubt in my mind that Coby White was going to be getting traded. Once the Bulls brought in Lonzo Ball, Caruso, and they drafted rookie Ayo, and with Coby underperforming, it seemed almost abundantly clear that Coby's days with the Bulls were numbered. But luckily for this Bulls front office, who hit the accelerator button in wanting to compete now and moving on from some of their other younger players, they decided to hold on to Coby and let him develop as a player. Had Lonzo Ball not gotten injured, you would likely see Coby potentially in another uniform by now. But despite the Bulls and their crowded backcourt, Coby has always stayed ready, focused, never complaining, never pouting about his varying role and minutes on the team. He kept working, and the work has finally paid off. But just how good has Coby elevated his game this season, and what makes him a prime candidate for the Most Improved Player of the Year award? Well, let's dive into it further. So what's going on, everyone? You were listening to Bulls Central here. Hope you're all doing well. But first, a quick word from today's sponsor, Game Time. Now, if you've ever had the pleasure of going to a game in person, it's truly one of the best experiences you'll ever have as a fan, but sometimes the experience of buying tickets is not the best. Are you getting a good deal? Are you not getting a good deal? Are the tickets legitimate? How do you know you're not being scammed? Well, with Game Time, they take out the guesswork when it comes to buying tickets. You shouldn't have to worry when you buy tickets to your next big event. I was actually looking for a gift for one of my friends for his birthday and got him tickets to the Warriors, who he's a big fan of, and Warriors tickets are not cheap. But with Game Time, I was able to get a steal of a deal. Game Time is the fast and easy way to buy tickets for all sports, music, comedy, and theater events. Game Time has deals on tickets right up to the start of the event and even an hour after it starts. It really is the best place to find last-minute seats. Find exclusive flash deals and sponsored deals on tickets. With the zone deals, you can pick a section where you want to sit, and Game Time will pick the seats for you for big time savings. And the Game Time guarantee means you'll always get the best price. If you find tickets in the same section and row for less, Game Time will credit you 110% of the difference. So again, take the guesswork out of buying tickets with Game Time. Download the Game Time app, create an account, and use the promo code BullsCentral for $20 off your first purchase. Terms apply. Again, create an account and redeem the code BullsCentral for $20 off. Download Game Time today. Last minute tickets, lowest price guaranteed. Now, when Coby White was drafted with the Bulls' 7th pick in the 2019 draft, the thought at the time was that Coby would be the point guard for the future that the Bulls would need with their already established front court in Lauri Markkanen and Wendell Carter Jr., and to pair him with their budding star in the backcourt of Zach Lavine. But while the talent was evident of Coby in his lone season at North Carolina, there were questions about his inconsistent shooting, high level of turnovers, and overall decision-making operating as a point guard. We all remember the questions, and some of that still remains true to this day. Is he a point guard or a shooting guard? Is he better playing off the ball or on the ball? And while Coby had a solid rookie season in which he went second team all-rookie finishing that year, Coby spent most of the season coming off the bench under Jim Boylen and acting as a scoring spark in the second unit. As the years would go on, Coby's role on the team changed in a multitude of ways, from starting in his sophomore season under a new head coach in Billy Donovan, to then being benched, to then playing shooting guard behind Zach Lavine, sometimes playing on ball, sometimes off. Some nights he would get 30 minutes and sometimes he would only get 8 minutes. Last season, while Coby actually had one of his more consistent and efficient seasons, numbers-wise, he saw a reduction in his overall role, with Ayo getting the start and then Patrick Beverley once he was brought in after the All-Star break. Coby's touches last season were few and far between, but when he did get them, he made the most of it in his limited role coming off the bench. Let's illustrate this for a second. Coby White last year averaged less than 10 points per game at 9.7 points, shooting 44% and 37% from 3 on a little over 4 attempts per game. He was also averaging just shy of 3 rebounds and 3 assists per game. His true shooting percentage was 57%, which was the highest we'd actually seen from Coby at that time. And for the first time, we had seen an overall positive defensive rating from Coby who have previously always been criticized for his poor defensive effort as a guard with a short wingspan. That said, it was consensus that despite the down raw numbers, this was Coby White's best season of his short career, and his play earned him a contract extension going into restricted free agency, a 3-year, $33 million deal, which even at the time was considered a bargain deal at just below the mid-level exception, and now you could argue it's one of the most team-friendly contracts in the entire NBA. Here's the thing, you can look at Coby's numbers this year and compare them to last year, putting up near 20 points per game, over 5 assists and 4.7 rebounds, shooting 46% from the field and just shy of 40% from behind the arc at over 7 attempts per game. Career highs in all categories, mind you. Having the most efficient season of his career and quite frankly one of the most efficient seasons among all guards in the NBA. It's not just the fact that he's increased his output and the impact on the court by advanced metrics though. What's been more impressive is his growth as a leader, his poise and maturity both on and off the court. And I know that's really not a factor that is looked at when assessing who are the most improved player of the year candidates. It's more so the year-over-year numbers and how much a given player has improved statistically and their impact on winning from one season to the next. But Coby, being a vocal leader on the court, navigating players on offense, instructing them where they need to be, being a voice in the locker room for change, and above all, taking accountability, responsibility, and having the self-awareness to understand what he needs to do to improve as a player and as a leader. Coby will always be the first to admit that he made a mistake on a given play, and that everything is a learning experience when it comes to being a reliable player for the team in the final moments of the game. The coaching staff and the team having confidence and trust in him, and slowly but surely being that lead guard for the Bulls and the team leader that they can start building the franchise with is incredible. When you go from being a role player coming off the bench to a primary scoring option that defenses now have to build their own game plan around and ensuring you keep him locked down and not have him light you up from 3. When you go from being an afterthought around the league to now receiving all-star consideration and one of the brighter young budding stars in the NBA in just a matter of one season, that is a clear shoe-in for being the most improved player of the year. From a player who once was a net negative when he was on the court to now being one of the most valuable players on the court between both teams is an incredible story of development and a rare success story for the Bulls of growing and building one of their own through the draft. Now, yes, I know a guy like Tyrese Maxey, who is having a stellar season and an all-star this year, is another top candidate for the most improved player of the year, but Maxey was already improving greatly and having an incredible season last year, and if we're just strictly looking at year-over-year comparisons, Coby White has actually made the bigger leap from one year to the next when you consider his role last season versus what it is today. Maxey was still a focal point of the Sixers offense last year. Coby was not. Yeah, Şengün is right up there as well. He's also having a great season. Kuminga has stepped it up big time, especially more recently. Scotty Barnes, Jalen Johnson, yes, there are a few players who have a case that have shown great improvement from last season to this year. But when you look at the numbers from last season to this one and the change in their role as a leader, the impact they have on the court both within their own team, but also how defenses guard Coby now compared to last year, to me, and I know I'm biased, but it's a no-brainer that Coby White is clearly the most improved player of the year this season. Granted, we're only at the All-Star break and Coby needs to maintain this level of play for the rest of the season, but aside from his high level of minutes, there really wouldn't be much to indicate that Coby is all of a sudden just going to fall off for the rest of the season and start playing like trash to eliminate him from consideration for this award. And if Coby does in fact win the award, he'll be the first Bull to do so since Jimmy Butler in the 2014-15 season. So let me know what you guys think. Who do you think wins the Most Improved Player of the Year award this season? Let me know in the comments. Hope you guys enjoy all the All-Star festivities this weekend. As always, be sure to subscribe, and I will see you in the next one.